Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Hen and this is Crafting from the Broom Closet, and today we are doing the letter O for origami. So here I have an origami heart, origami butterfly and an origami tulip, and these are all made out of scrap. So the flower and the heart are made out of magazine pages, and obviously this is made out of a book page. So I got me Tesco magazine, which is, I've actually got two of them now. So my Tesco magazine, and I went through and I flicked through the pages and I looked for areas that I could cut out a square that's probably not big enough. There's not really anything left in here. Nothing in that portion. Ideally you want the same colour in the whole square. None of these are really big enough spaces to make the square, but that's what I did. I went through. I did find some pages. Oh, the flower's running away. I did find some pages, but I also found, this is where I won't find what I'm looking for again now. They have a page in all of them that is called From the Field to Plate, I believe. Field to Fork. This one here. And for both of these, for that one there, I used the field to fork, and for the stem of this tulip, which can stand up by the way, apparently. Not according, my one can't, but they should be able to stand up. I used the field to fork, and I think it was some sort of herb. Here we go. So that's the field to fork page that I've cut up into squares. But these are the page, and this is some rhubarb cut into a square. So that's what that's made out of, is rhubarb. It's pretty. But I found other pages. So I just looked for ones that had enough space. Oh look, there you go. There's what the rhubarb page looks like, field to fork. Cool. So I found like this day milk. I think there's enough there to make a square. And then you've got this one here. There's enough of this yellow to make a square. And that one came from this Bisto page. There was actually enough there still to make a square, but there was, on both sides there was. So there you go. So that's what I'm doing. I'm cutting out squares from these pages. When you've got a straight edge like this, I mean there's a little bit of a crease in there. When you've got, it's really easy to make a square. Because what you do is you bring that down like so. And this line here is where you cut. So you cut along here and cut along here, and that should give you a square. If it doesn't, then I'm an idiot. And I'm looking at it now and thinking it doesn't. But obviously if I cut it there, I'm going to get part of the Bisto. So in this case, I wouldn't do that. With the book page, that's how I would do it. Where's my book page? There we go. Book page, a bit of Two Gentlemen of Verona. Take that off. This has got a nice neat edge, no messing about. Bring this corner down, and what you want to do is bring it down to that edge there. This will get you a square. Make sure that you've got a nice point going on at the top there. And the good thing about all of these origamis that I'm doing, the first crease is a diagonal crease. So putting this crease in won't affect it. And then what we do is we cut off here. Like so. When, however, you're doing an area like this, it's going to be harder to find your square that way. So what you do is you use a lovely measuring device. Make sure, so we have got a straight head here, and we have got a straight edge. So we can line the end of the ruler up with that straight edge. It will give you a straight line. Once you've got two straight lines, it's easy to make a square. So we've got that straight line. We also know this is a straight line, but obviously that is in the wrong place. But you can draw lines. So I can line that up with there, draw a line, and then I can line the ruler up if I wanted to elsewhere. In fact, if I line that up there and drew the line, she says, with no pen available. One of these days I will be organised. It's not today. I thought I was. I wasn't. Pen or pencil? Come on, where are you? I found one. Here we go. So if I line that up with that edge there, which I know is a straight line, draw with my pencil. I've even got that pen. Oh, would help if I had lead sticking out, wouldn't it? Draw with my pencil. I'm not going all the way across because there is a nick in my ruler just here. You can see. That's because I've used the plastic ruler with a cutting blade. You can, but be very careful because you end up taking slices out of the ruler. You can see I've got lots of cuts into my ruler on that side. So now I've got a straight line there that I can hold this ruler up against again, and that will take me to the edge. Oh, see, this is why I said don't use the nicked part of the ruler. That'll take me to there, and it gives me a straight line to follow. I'm just going to take this rough edge off up here. Like I said, line the ruler up against that edge here, the straight edge. That's about right. There you go. So I've now got a straight edge there. So it's going to be a very small area. So I've now got that line that I can hold this ruler up against, that top line. Oh, you can't see it. That I've drawn. Hang on, let me do it this way around. So if I then line my ruler up against that, make sure it's lined up. Just want to go just below this writing. It should, in theory, give me a straight line, a straight edge. Let me just move that across. And then, now what we need to do is work out what's the gap between that and that, size-wise. So it is just 6.5 plus 1, 6.6 centimetres, or in inches that would be 2.2, just over the 2 1/8, the one line after the 2 and no, that's not what I mean. Each of these is an eighth, isn't it? So 2 and 7/8. 2 and 7/8. Okay. I'm going to stick with the, what did I say it was that way? Centimetres? 6 and 3/4, roughly. So I then want to measure a line 6 3/4. I'm going to do 2 so I can join them up. And then join them 2 lines together. And there's your square that you're going to cut out. And I didn't do that straight at all. Look at that. Oh, dear me. Try again. That's better. So there's the square you're going to cut out, and that's what you're going to use to make your flower, your heart, or your tulip, or whatever out of, or your butterfly. So I'm going to do the cutting out off screen, because you know me, I'm rubbish at cutting out. Although I will show you, if you have got your sturdy cutting mat, you can use these lines to help you get that square much easier than just going around. So you would line that up at the bottom, and then you would line this up with a mark and draw, and that would get you a much easier, a much quicker way of cutting it out. But I'm going to do the cutting out off camera, and I will be right back. So here's some I've made earlier. So yes, so like I said, with the book page, I just folded down the quarter, gave me the cut, and when you measure it, the sides are exactly the same. I've checked. The others I've trimmed out. I already had these trimmed out. So these are going to be the stems of my tulip, which has come off its stem. Stems of the tulip. No, cooperate. Of course you're not going to cooperate. Right, hang on. You get the idea. So that's the stem of the tulip. So that's what they're going to be used for. This one I've done will be a heart. The book page is what I use for the butterfly. And obviously these are your tulip colours. And if you see, I've got one smaller than the other. It's just the way it cut out. I'm gonna do the demo with the bigger one so you can see, because otherwise it's gonna be too fiddly. So we'll start with the heart. I forgot to press record and had already folded the heart. So you start, you can see all my creases. So you start off with your piece of paper and you fold it diagonally in half, making sure that the corners align and that you've got it flat. And I didn't do it right the first time, and it did make a difference. So I'm going to sort that out this time round, she says. So you do that, then you open it out and you bring up the diagonal to here. Okay. I can't believe I didn't press record, because I put it on pause while I was getting myself ready and forgot to put it on pause. Then you bring down, no, you open it up again, sorry. Then you bring down this triangle. Let me show, because I've already done the folds. The top triangle you bring down to the centre point, like so. Crease that. Make sure it's this fold here is lining up with this fold here. And then this one you bring up, so it's up to the top. Crease the fold. I'm sorry that I've already got the creases in here, which makes my life a lot easier, but it means the creases are already in here. They wouldn't be on yours. Then we get this line here, and we want this edge here to line up that crease. And you bring it round like that and line it up. Sorry. And you're doing the same on the other side of this crease here, and you're lining it up, folding it up and bringing it up to that crease. Screw it down. We're almost there now. Flip your heart over. You fold down this point to here. You don't fold down this point to here. Really crease them hard so they stay down. I apologise for the coughing. And then we get this corner here that's sticking out, and we fold that in. And we get this corner here, and then we fold that in. And that is your heart. It's that simple. And the flower itself is actually even easier. Get your piece of paper. You bring it up like we started with the other one. You go diagonal to diagonal, like so. Try and make sure it's all lined up and you get a nice, because I don't want that yellow showing, do I? So not like I've just done and I messed it up. There we go. I just accidentally ripped into that corner, but I think it'll be fine. So yeah, there you go. And then you do the same. You go diagonal to right diagonal. This is really easy. This is the tulip. Oh, again, I didn't make sure it was lined up at the sides. There we go. You can make adjustments. Okay. Next thing we do is we bring this one up like at an angle like that. And this one up at an angle like that. That's pretty much a tulip made. So now all we need to do is just fold this corner a little bit back on itself like so. And the same on the other side. There you go. So that's your tulip. Now the stem, diagonal to diagonal. You're getting used to this diagonal to diagonal now, aren't you? Open it out. Then we want to bring this down like we're going to make a kite shape. So you're lining up that edge to the fold in the middle. And try to get as near as possible. Try to get that point in line. Same on this side. So this here meets over into the middle to make a kite shape. Try and get it to line up as best you can and make that point in the middle. It's not quite there, but it'll be fine like that. Then we bring these ones here into the middle. So you're doing the same thing but at the bottom. So you bring it in like so. Same on this side. Bring it in to the middle. Again, trying to keep that point. There we go. Then we get this one. So we're bringing this one back in to the middle again. So we're doing the same fold but tighter. This one is quite a thick bit of paper you're going through now, so really screw it hard. I'm using my nails. You might want to use back to your ruler, or if you've got a scoring thing, use that. But I'm just using my nails. Do the same on the other side. So you're bringing this edge into the middle and trying to keep that point at the top, like so. Then what we do, let's just push all that down because that's, we bring this point here down to this point here, like so. And this is pretty much it. This is your stem of your tulip now. So we fold this in half along there, and that pointy bit there we just pull out a bit, and there you go. That is your stem and leaf of your tulip. And to attach that, we just take a snippet off here. There we are. Just a tiny snippet off there. It creates a little hole that you should be able to stick that stem through. I find if you open up the tulip a little bit, it makes it a little bit easier to stick it through. Oh, maybe I need to take a little bit more off. Oh, hang on. Let's just make that into more of a point. It should fit through that hole. And there you go. So that is your tulip made. So we've made the heart. The heart. It's a bigger heart than the one I made before. And the tulip. See, the stem has fallen off. You might want to put a bit of glue into the stem to hold it in place. You can open up your tulip all the way if you really want to get that back in. Because it really is, it's very simple to get back together. There you go. There you go. So that is a tulip and a heart that we made now. The butterfly is the more complicated one. So I'm going to pop these to the side so you can see what I am doing. So here we go, we're making this butterfly. So you get your square paper. Like I said, they always seem to start with this diagonal fold. So not having done the diagonal fold, not the way I've torn it means it's easier. So diagonal fold up to that corner. Okay. And do it and then turn it around and bring the diagonal fold again up to that corner. This one's a lot of folding and unfolding, this one, to get the final result. Okay, don't forget to score these lines really well. And now we want to go from side to side. Again, score really well. Open it up. And then we'll go top to bottom. Score really well. Open it up. At this point you've got diagonal, diagonal, cross, cross. These are the lines you've got. Next step, we're going to go this corner up to here. And you're going to do that all the way around. So you're going this corner, so this line here is going to line up with this centre fold here. And I'm going to turn that all the way around. So you're going to, this out, this head here, centre fold. So you're going to line these up in the middle. So you're going to that middle point. And don't mess it up like I am, because I keep messing these up. To the centre point and to the centre point. And now we open it back up again. Told you, a lot of folding, and then let me just make sure that's scored properly. A lot of folding and unfolding. Now we are going to go in from this side, into that middle fold. So that middle fold there, we want to bring this edge to that middle fold. And then we want to do the same on the other side. The edge to the middle fold, like so. Line it up. Line it up. I'm not very good at lining things up. That edge to the middle fold. So you got to that point, you got, it doesn't look very even. Have I messed that up? I'll just double check. Yeah, I thought so. I thought I did it a little bit over that to that middle fold. Yeah, look, see? I knew I had. That to that middle fold. At this point, we now want to fold this up to the middle line. Just make sure you're in the middle line by doing that crease again if you need to. And then this down to the middle line. If you let that fall open, you'll see there's this piece of paper here. What you want to do is pull that out as far as it will go and then fold it down and crease that line there. Same over here. So you get that corner that's sticking out, pull it out gently as far as it will go. It will follow the creases you already have and crease it down there. Then turn it round and do the same at the bottom. So you're getting this little corner here, pulling it out, let it follow the folds that it's already on as far as it can go, then crease it down. And the same at this side, pull it out as far as it can go and fold it down. So you're left with this shape. Then you bring this flap down from the top down to the bottom. Then you fold this. That's not right. Oh, I folded it the wrong way. Fold it that way. So you're down to the bottom. Then you get this and you fold that down. So the line that is already there, you're folding against that. Same on this side. So you've already got that line there that you've done in your folders, and you're coming down. So they're sort of making that triangle at the bottom. Yep. So that's what you should have now. Then you get this edge here, and you just fold it in a little bit, like so. And you do the same on the other side. Try and make it uniform, so they look the same, like so. So that's what you should have, these two little bits folded in. Don't think mine are perfectly uniform. You can try and adjust that to make it more even. There we go, that's a little bit more even. And then what we do is we fold in half, and you're trying to make that point meet that point there, like so. And this is where you want to crease it down. Now what you want to do here is you want to fold in here slightly. So see where I've made my fingernail marks? That's what you're going to do. You're going to bring this in like that slightly. Open it up, and when you look on this side, you can see it's not really centralized, so that overlap that's gone wrong. Oh yeah, sorry. Then you want to fold, that's right, now you want to fold in half again, so you're bringing that over to here. Sorry, I forgot what I was doing. And really push down hard now, because you're going through lots of layers. And what you should have is this little ridge in the middle, and you should have your butterfly wings. And there you go, that is your butterfly. It's complicated, I messed it up. I have done all the steps right, probably haven't explained it very well, but that's for today. I mean, origami isn't usually used in a scrapbook, scrap journal, but I'm going to show you tomorrow how it can be. See you tomorrow.